Welcome to an introduction to social cognitive theory. This was a major innovation in the development of learning theories as it introduced the concept of reciprocal influences among variables identified by other theorists. My name is Bill Hewitt, and I'm Professor Emeritus at Valdosta State University and Adjunct Professor at Capella University. The presentation is narrated by Jeff Hewitt, who is helping me produce these videos.
Remember that in the early 20th century, American psychology was dominated by the behavioral theories of John Watson, Edward Thorndike, and B.F. Skinner. These theorists focused on how external stimuli were directly connected to overt behavior. However, by the middle of the 20th century, the humanistic theories of Abraham Maslow, Carl Rogers, and Erich Fromm came to be a third force in psychology with a focus on human agency and various self-views. Additionally, the cognitive theories of George Miller, Benjamin Bloom, and Ulrich Neisser also became important with a focus on the structure and function of cognitive processes. Albert Bandura then introduced his version of social learning theory, in which models in the environment were observed and remembered. This was considered cognitive information processing. The observed behavior was then reproduced, and environmental consequences were administered to change the future frequency of the reproduced behavior. This was considered operant conditioning. Bandura worked within this paradigm for several decades and then developed a new theory which he labeled social cognitive theory. There were several major innovations in this theory. First was the concept of triadic reciprocal relationships. Previous theories hypothesized a one-way relationship of influence. For example, operant conditioning and social learning theories showed that environmental consequences impacted behavior, while the cognitive information processing researchers showed that thinking impacted behavior. Both the psychodynamic theorists and those working within the Piagetian paradigm showed that biology impacted thinking, while the humanists showed that affect and emotions impacted thinking and behavior. And Bandura's previously developed social learning theory showed that observing models impacted thinking. This concept of one-way influences was replaced with the concept of reciprocal relationships where each influenced and were influenced by the other two. For example, the personal characteristics related to thinking not only influence one's behavior, but one's behavior also influenced personal characteristics such as one's self-efficacy beliefs. In addition, Bandura expanded his view of important learner characteristics. He emphasized the development of agency and self-regulation and contributed to the self-views work of the humanists with his concept of self-efficacy, which he defined as the cognitive belief that an individual can perform a specific task, such as writing a paragraph or solving a two-digit addition problem that involves carrying. Bandura also expanded the view of important characteristics to include empathy, spirituality, and personality. Additionally, Bandura expanded his views of important aspects of the environment to include organizations and culture. He was thereby able to incorporate the perspectives of other social psychologists, sociologists, and anthropologists. Social cognitive theory therefore considers aspects of biology such as proposed by Piaget's theory on cognitive development and the work of neuroscientists on brain structure and functioning. The importance of affect and emotions as identified by the humanist and positive psychologists, the work of cognitive information processing researchers in the area of cognition and memory, his own work in social learning theory, Vygotsky's socio-historical theory and the importance of the social and cultural environment within which the learner is embedded, Bronfenbrenner's work on the ecology of human development, as well as the impact of culture and social institutions, such as family, community, institutions, and global trends, and how individuals and group behavior can impact the environment. And as important his influence has been on the questions to be asked and the factors to be studied, he has continued the focus on verifying theories and hypotheses with empirical results that was emphasized by behaviorists and cognitive theorists who came before him. In short, Albert Bandura is one of the most influential psychologists in the history of psychology and has had a tremendous influence in educational psychology, especially in the development of a new paradigm within which to engage in research and practice. His website provides access to much of his writings as well as links to videos and books that explain his work.